This week's Farm Basics is brought to you by satshot.com. Satellites aren't just for NASA anymore. Use the power of satellite imagery to create variable rate management zones in your fields. To reduce input costs and increase yields on your farm, go to satshot.com.
During our Farm Basics time today, we wanted to talk a little about field entrances and why they look terrible sometimes.
I like to give Brian a hard time whenever we get to a field approach. We're like, what did you do here, Brian? Because, it doesn't normally look like much of the rest of the field. A lot of times in the field entrances, we see some issues with compaction, or it looks like there isn't a very good stand, and there's a number of different reasons.
Well, the compaction, though, is the biggest reason. Basically, what's happened here in this particular field is for the last 50 years at least, all the traffic that's gone in and out of the field, from tractors to combines to sprayers, everything, it's all had to come in this one approach. So it all comes in right here, and then they drive into the field from there. Well, look at this corn. I mean, here it is late in the season, and it's only knee-high. That's terrible. But the rest of the field looks great. And this field in particular last year yielded over 200 bushels per acre. So it's not like it's a bad field or anything like that, but there's just this one little spot. It's maybe a tenth of an acre or something like that, but the compaction is so severe, the plant roots can't grow, the nutrients aren't available then, and we've got major issues.
Well, here's another thing that gets to be an issue. Right away, the very first little stretch in a field, think about it from a farmer's perspective. He turns on his planter, he drops his planter down, starts things up, and you know what? A lot of times when you just start something up, it's not working 100% quite yet. So sometimes you don't end up with the kind of stand that you want to have in the rest of the field. So you aren't dropping 30,000 seeds per acre right away. You're maybe dropping 20 or 25. So you end up with a little thinner stand. Then the other thing is, it's hard to do tillage right up to the corner of a field. And if you're trying to do tillage with corn stalks, maybe you don't get them worked in just perfect when you get to the end of the field. Or maybe as the combine is turned around, when it gets to these headlands, he throws a whole bunch of trash over in the corner, and you've got all this residue that your plants have to try and get up through. There are so many challenges that you have in the ends of the
a
field.
lot of the issue, though, comes with bigger equipment. So we've got a much bigger combine than we used to have, much bigger tractor, much bigger sprayer, much bigger planter, and it's hard to get into some of these corners in the fields. You definitely don't want to damage a $100,000 planter or a $300,000 combine or a $150,000 tractor, so you stay a little away from the edge, and you don't necessarily kill all the weeds there. Or fertility is another issue. Like this plant in particular, we saw a lot of this year, where the tops were a little yellow, and people said, oh, it's just fast growth. No, it's not fast growth. It's a nutrient deficiency. In this particular case, it's zinc and boron deficiency in the top of the plant. We did see a lot of sulfur deficiency this year too. So we've got some of these issues, and we see them accentuated in the corners of fields because a lot of times we don't have the full amount of fertility there, plus the fact we have severe compaction.
And when we talk about compaction, we end up with drought stress conditions if you aren't getting rain all the time, because the root system is very shallow when you have compaction, and then you end up with leaves that are rolling up. It's the morning here, and the leaves are already starting to roll up. We haven't even had the hot sun of the day coming out yet, so you know there's a lot of stress on some of the plants, especially on the ends of the field.
Well, once again, in field entrances, we do see a lot of problems across the country. A lot of it has to do with compaction and just the fact that it has been driven on so much over many, many years. But the other factor is just it's hard to get all this big equipment backed into corners of fields to get every last inch of a field taken care of properly.
Well, one of the things that happens in corners of the fields is weeds get out of hand, like our weed of the week. We'll show you how to kill this tough weed later in the show.